Hello, welcome to today's reading. Today we're focusing on the relationship world. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship at all. This can be your relationship with anyone, a significant connection, just any relationship that you really want to kind of delve into. So I invite you to just take some time and get yourself into a place of stillness and focus on the cards and choose the pile you're most drawn to. Pile 1 is honeysuckle. Pile 2 is the dandelion clock. Pile 3 is chamomile. Pile 4 is ivy. And pile 5 is holly. Pause if you need to. Just start with pile 1. So before we start, I just wanted to talk about the medicine of the honeysuckle. The honeysuckle helps bring us into the present. It can be letting go of positive or negative things, but mainly just how things were compared to now. It's bringing us into the now and helping us smell the sweetness of now. And it's not about forgetting the past, but it's about just not living there. You know, being able to get ourselves into the position of that was then and this is now. Let go of how things were and how you felt things should be, and focus on where things actually are. And being able to put all the memories and all the things into a healthy space that we don't forget them, but at the same time we're not reliving and, existing only in the past. Okay? It's an acceptance and a kind of reminder to just be in the now. Okay, let's have a look. So, taking into account the medicine of the honeysuckle, I think it's really interesting that the center card of this reading is the Hierophant, and in this particular deck it is a yoga instructor and 2 students, and they are in the present. Okay, it's about bringing it into the now, even if you need guidance to do that. I also feel that this card carries the energy of lessons. It's kind of like everything that's happened to now, all the feelings, all the emotions, all the triggers are the teachers. If that's teaching you to walk away and let go, that's the lesson or the medicine of this moment. If it's making a choice to continue on, that's the medicine. But it's about just taking the moment to bring everything together into the now and decide what is going to happen next. I feel like in this connection there has been turbulence, but not major turbulence. There's been obstacles, and there's been triggers, and there's been wondering, should I stay or should I go? A very kind of I'm packed up and ready to leave kind of energy, which can sometimes cause problems in a secure, attached, healthy relationship. If someone, it feels like their hands on the door and they're ready to leave, whether that's an illusion or not, it's a very real feeling in this connection with somebody. You know, it's like it could be you that's not sure whether you want to stay in the connection or not, or whether you should forget about it, or whether you feel the other person is in that moment. They could just get up and leave at any point. They're not really there. They're not really present. And that can be a very unsettling energy in any connection, no matter who it's with. And there's so much in the head in this connection. There's so many thoughts, you know, so much thinking and analysing and wondering, and it's not really a dreamy thought. It's the sort of, what should I do? Why did they say that? Why did that happen? You know, should I do something about this? Should I tell them? It's all very in the head. And for both these reasons, it's even more important to bring into this connection into a place of stillness, and weighing things up. There's been a lot of imbalance here. Again, this can be perception or reality, but someone feels that they haven't given enough. Someone feels kind of there's a bit of an unfair balance. Someone's given more than the other. It might not be the actual case, but that's the very real feeling of this connection. It's not balanced. Someone's given too much, someone's given too little, and it's really important to try and bring that into a place of balance. It could also be feelings. Someone could feel a lot more for someone than the feelings they're receiving back. And again, that can be perception, because how do you know how much someone feels? You don't. So the perception could be that I'm putting all this emotion and all this thought and all this deliberation and all this wondering into this connection, and they're not. But actually, you don't know this. So it's coming back into that place of stillness and going, I don't know if that's actually the case. And then there's the judgment card, which is really interesting, because that's a need to just bring it all out into the open and sort this out. I really don't feel that that's one-sided. I think that that's a mutual thing, to bring it all out into the open. Just lay all the cards on the table, literally, and, you know, try to actually figure out what's happening here. It's interesting that the soul retrieval cards came out, because that's about calling back all the parts, you know, bringing yourself into a place where all the parts are with you, rather than, you know, with somebody else. So it's like sometimes you can get tangled up in a connection and in worrying about someone else and what they think and how they feel and what they're going to do next. And it's important to call that all back to the self. If you hear a noise in the background, it's actually my dog snoring. And it says here, open your heart onto the body of life. Take with you your all, a blessing of fire. Spirit is moving in you. You are wisdom and understanding. And then this is like the Cancer energy in the zodiac and action. So I really do feel like the overall energy of this connection is about, it's time now to really just weigh it all, be realistic, weigh it all up, figure out which bits are just misunderstanding. You know, I feel like there might be a lot of misunderstanding that can be aired out if a discussion happens. And this is an overall lovely connection, you know. I don't feel like there's any rift going on here. I think if there's any issues, it's all internal. And really a conversation could probably get to the point of healthiness. Let's just see what else is going on here. So how does your person feel about this connection? How does your person feel about this connection, pile one? Okay, yep. So it's very similar. It's a very should I stay, should I go type energy, but leading more into a desire for a new start. So something must have happened that just needs to be cleared. You know, something, yeah. So something's happened that needs to be cleared. Something's gone down here. And, you know, it may not have been a big thing. Some of you, it might have been a massive thing. But it's like this desire for a new beginning. But it's, are we having the new beginning together or separately? Do I kind of try to put this person out of my head and move on? Or do I stay? And I feel like this person has tried to forget about this, but they haven't. There's just so much fire energy here, and so much kind of they're drawn into this, and they have this battle going on within them. They just don't know, like this inner conflict where they just want everything to be more peaceful, but they just can't seem to. There's just this real fiery thoughts, fiery feelings, a lot of emotion, and it's not something that can just be left. You know, it's not something that you can just walk away from. This person can just walk away from. But it's not a peaceful energy. It's not someone who's like just happy and settled, and you know, there's a lot of it's not really confusion. Confusion's the wrong word. Just a lot of emotion that is misunderstood. I feel like there's a lot of feelings going on here, a lot of big feelings, and they're not being expressed. They're not being understood by each other, both. And the bottom of the deck energy, interestingly, is the Three of Swords. So I feel like this connection is triggering a lot, and bringing up old stuff, and maybe there's been hurt in this connection before, and so there's a lot of caution. You know, this is someone who, you know, this is a connection that's people are holding back and being very guarded, you know, and they know that they need to move into openness, but there's a lot of resistance and conflict, and there's always something preventing that conversation, that place of let's talk this out. You know, people, you know, one person might get defensive, the other person might get triggered, and it just never seems to fall into this settled place. And I feel like it needs action. It needs actual action, as in sit down and work it out logically, and talk through everything, because I feel like this is all inner. You know, that the conflict, the feelings aren't as they seem. Let's pick a few relationship cards. Yeah. Okay. So too much drama. I dream of clearing things up. Crack me open. Yeah. So I feel like the other person is trying to remain calm and trying to understand and trying to really get to the stage of wanting to get to the bottom of this, wanting to reach out, wanting to discuss it, wanting to work on their own triggers. But there's just so much going on. You know, there's just so much going on here on both in the connection, within the connection, and in each other's kind of personal lives. Let's see. There's so much love here, but I feel at the moment it's moved from that. This is for quite a few of you. I would say this is more of a possibly a romantic connection, or there's some kind of passion, because I think what has happened, just from looking at the overall energy, is it was kind of this lovely innocent emotional kind of love, and then all these feelings were stirred up and nobody knew what to do with them. It's a connection that has never been experienced before by one person, one side, and possibly both sides, and all these stirred up feelings and passion and all the things, you know, have never been felt before, or have never been really understood before, or someone doesn't know where these feelings are coming from, and it's very, you know, there's just so much kind of fiery energy going on in here, and it's like, it's hard to think. It's not like it's not love as such. There's a lot of love here, but the problem is this kind of just feelings, just lots of feelings and tension and being fired up and emotion and attraction and triggers and all this stuff all going on at once. A lot of drama, and the center of it is dreaming to clear things up. But the fact that this cracked me open, it's very like the Tower card cracked me open. This is a you know, if you believe in this kind of thing, I'd say this is definitely a spiritual connection, because they tend to do this. It's like you get into these relationships and they just fire everything up, and you don't know if it's to do with the other person, or it's to do with yourself, or what it's exactly to do with, but you just feel all fired up, and you feel so fired up you can't just walk away. You know, you have to try, you have this desire to discuss it and work it out, but sometimes the other person just doesn't. So it's kind of, you both come into this place of stillness, and obviously the only person you can ever control is yourself. So it's bringing yourself to this place of stillness and trusting that when you become still and calm and quiet, they will eventually come to you, because they won't be able to not. I mean, this isn't someone who can just walk off. This isn't someone who's going anywhere. They feel so much that, you know, they aren't going to be able to forget about this anytime soon. Two Cups. So that's lovely. So you know, there is the option of bringing in healing into this situation. But it's going to take time. And let's see. Yeah, I feel that's like a very Six of Swords kind of energy card as well. Wonder, voyage, crossing deep waters, pilgrimage, journey of the soul. So do you feel this is like a soul lesson, soul contract kind of situation where, you know, there's been a lot of rough waters, you know, there's been a lot brought up and it's not been easy. I do want to put it out there, if someone crosses the line and they're hurting you, then, you know, self-care is one of the key things. You know, you must keep yourself safe and keep yourself, you know, away from danger. So, you know, bear that in mind here, because I would say in a kind of toxic situation, this could get ugly. You know, this could get ugly, but in a non-toxic situation, it's just very confusing and very, I mean, this is a connection where each person is thinking about this a lot and feeling this a lot, regardless of if there's even any contact or not. And really, the underlying desire on both sides seems to be connection and love and connection and healthy love and connection. But there's just so much going on in both sides. Could also be a lot of things just going on in each person's personal life. And then it's just like a perfect storm kind of situation. Blessing on a home. Yeah. So somebody has just so much going on in their home life. Obviously, if you're a couple, it could be both your home lives together. But you know, it's this blessing on the home and bringing it all back to the start and trying to still this storm. I know you can't still storms, but you can still yourself in order to see what's going on. And I feel like that's the advice of this reading is stillness and seek counsel. I feel like this card is sort of saying, you know, go to someone impartial who you can really talk this out with, because if you can't talk this out with the actual person involved, you need to go to someone you trust, not someone who's going to make it worse and kind of get into the gossip and you know, aggravate it further. You need someone who's going to, you know, help you and guide you, discover your own feelings about it, and just help you vent rather than get involved in the situation, because, you know, things can move very, very quickly here, and it's kind of up to you which way they can go. But I feel like, you know, in quite a lot of relationships, you would say just take some time out, you know, take some time out, let things settle. But I feel like that is a very tough ask in this situation. This is not someone who's going to be able to take time out anytime fast. It's going to take a lot of stamina to stay away and stay out of this, because there's just so much just attraction, and, you know, a need to just, there's just this feeling, and I would say it would be almost like giving up a drug coming out of this at the moment. And it would just be still playing on the mind, but still, if possible, it'd be good to just come out for a bit and just think it through. Clarity. Let me trust my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my own holy intuition always guide the way. May my own holy intuition always guide the way. So that's very similar. The advice card is to take some time. The intuition, to find intuition, you have to come to a place of stillness, because the intuition's going to lead you right in. Because if you're fired up, the intuitions could lead you in a whole different direction than if you're in a place of stillness. There's a deeper reason for each of your questions. Seek it. Okay. Guidance, attention, help, maybe, love always, criticism never. The question was, what to give others, if anything at all? Isn't it fun being you, the universe? So I feel like, you know, the overall energy here is clearing things up. I feel like a lot of this is a lot of misunderstanding, and there's so much fired up, and probably other people getting involved, that a lot of the thoughts could probably be cleared up very easily if you could just get to that place of stillness. And if you could both get to that place of stillness, it would be great. But I know that's so much easier said than done. So let's just pick one of these wee ocean cards. Tears of pearls. When we mermaids cry, pearls fall from our eyes, and each precious tear is full of wisdom. Your every tear teaches a lesson, and each is to be treasured. Remember all you have learned, and know the worth of your tears. Okay. Well, I hope this resonated with you. Let me know in the comments. Thank you, Pal One. That's all I have for you today. Scallop. Okay. So pile 2 was the dandelion clock, and I feel like the medicine of the dandelion clock is the sacred geometry of knowing every intricate detail is important, and also perception. You know, I always think of this, you know, some people see a weed, some people see a wish, and I also feel like this was the only dandelion clock there was, and there's usually, you know, there has been so many, and I feel like it's the look for that one wish, you know, find that hope, because it is there. So let's see what is coming up in your reading, pile 2. Make sure this isn't. Wow. Okay. So this is a beautiful energy pile too. This is a very healing connection. It definitely involves songs. I'd say whoever, if you're listening to this, you probably will hear songs and think of this person, and it would be mutual. There's a lot of just thought. It says here a blessing on your sleep. But I'm not getting the vibe of sleepless nights. It might be that you just think about this connection at night. Maybe this person enters the dream state. And maybe there is a lot of reflection at night. But it's a very magical connection. I'm not even getting, necessarily romantic as such. This could be a connection with anybody. But it's very, very beautiful. Let's see what comes up in the tarot. No way. The exact same cards are coming up as pile one. So I'm just gonna reshuffle. Oh, this is so beautiful. Okay, so I feel like possibly you, the one who's watching this, has been very guarded, probably hurt before, and just unsure of whether to give yourself into this connection fully. Trust issues perhaps, and just caution, a lot of caution. But there's just this want to give, but this unwillingness or just caution in giving fully. Okay, because we move into the Page of Pentacles and the Lovers, which, to me is very, it's just a very loving energy. You wanting to give, come forward with an offer of love. And then there's this kind of just so many demons to battle, really, leading back to this hurt and kind of stopping, self-sabotage, stopping yourself. We'll see what comes up in the other person's. I feel this might be you. You're just stopping yourself from really coming in and really enjoying this because of a past situation. And then there's this lovely calm feeling of it's okay. You do want to connect, but also you're fine without the connection too. I mean, this is a very, very peaceful card. This person's happy to share or happy to sit there on their own. They don't have that neediness that I really need another person, but yet they're not blocking anyone out either. They're in touch with their emotions. They're in touch with all the elements. I just feel like this is just a beautiful end. The only negative, if it's even a negative, is this stopping yourself because of past hurts. But I feel like you know, that honoring the past is fine and good, but it's just not letting it rule. Let's see what else comes up. Yeah. There's an illusion of entrapment, and just this kind of wobbly, trying to weigh things up. You know, I'd say this is someone who's moving in and out, like really wanting to open themselves up to this beautiful connection and this beautiful healing. But because of past hurts and caution and this feeling of not being able to move forward, this illusion, it's just kind of caught in this kind of, oh, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? And sometimes if someone's come from a place of trauma, they find the steady, day-to-day calmness of a healthy connection triggering, because they can feel it, that, you know, they can interpret it. We can sometimes interpret it as the other person's not interested or the other person doesn't care, because you're just so, if you've come from any kind of toxicity, you're just so used to drama and so used to just fireworks and all this craziness, that when things are just nice and calm and chilled, it can feel really like as if the other person's not interested, when actually they're so interested, because this healthy love is actually, you know, so it's so calm and beautiful, and, you know, could be perceived as boring to someone who comes from a lot of fireworks, but that's actually where the healing is. This calm, dependable, steady love that's just quietly there. You know, it's nice and calm and quiet. But managing those triggers to be able to get down and experience it is challenging. But I feel like, you know, thinking back to the dandelion wish, that this is just meant to be, like, in the stars. You know, it's this gift. It's a gift. Yep. So I feel like within this connection from the other person, I actually feel this is quite mutual. There is that confusion and transference, and the importance of taking care of yourself in both parties. I feel like self-care is paramount for reaching this healing spot. People needed to take care of themselves first and then move on out into each other. And other past relationships could affect this connection. As there's maybe been sort of almost like a role play situation where this connection has reminded someone of a connection in the past, and they've been able to maybe play it out differently this time, but the feelings and the emotions and everything has caused a lot of confusion. And I'd say, just from the overall energy, the confusion is this meant to be feeling, because it's a very confusing feeling, because sometimes you can feel it when things are toxic. You can feel this toxic pull to someone and it feels like it's meant to be. It feels so special and so meant to be, and then it can turn out so painful. that when you kind of feel something like that again in a sort of calmer way, it's really hard to kind of understand. Especially in kind of platonic, out of the blue relationships. And you feel all these feelings and they're really confusing because society has kind of told us that you're supposed to feel this way about these people and you're supposed to know people this long and you're supposed to open up in these situations but not these situations. And it's all very confusing for everybody, but I feel like this is just such a healing, calm connection, and then it can go really quiet. It can go really, really quiet for a while, and then that leaves the other person wondering, am I imagining this? There's a lot of, am I imagining this? Do you think they feel the same? And this, just that kind of confusing, if that makes sense. So let's see what else we've got happening. Let's get a mermaid card. Dreams. No way. So yeah, there's a lot of dreaminess here, and a lot of as opposed to pile one, there's a lot of thoughts going on all the time. It's very in the head. This is very in the dream space. This, you could possibly catch yourself daydreaming about this person and vice versa. And it's just a very dreamy connection. And I'd say probably almost feels like it's too good to be true. Which, for someone who's gone through a lot, can be actually very traumatic, because things seem too good to be true, and usually that means they are too good to be true. What's the catch? You're just kind of almost waiting for this to all break down and fall apart. You're almost expecting the drama. Solar powered. Yep. Solar powered. So I feel like this is just another kind of universal symbol. Like you will be guided, like it's the sunshine. Really tune into your feelings and dare to take a risk here. And enjoy it. I feel like this is saying enjoy this. Don't really worry too much about the what ifs. Just keep looking after yourself and make sure you focus on other things in life and just enjoy the connection. Because if it feels off, you'll know. So that's all I have for you, pile 2. Thank you. Okay, so pile 3. You chose the chamomile. The medicine of the chamomile is to just bring in calmness, and just ease things and help settle and bring stillness again. Just making sure these are all in view. Okay. Excuse my snoring dog. Okay, so I feel like someone in this connection is really drawing the other in. Like, it's a mesmerizing. I'm not really sure if it's the one who is watching, or the person that's in your mind, but somebody is really manifesting this. Someone's really pulling the other person in. I feel like the blessing of the air is kind of a sort of saying, just think about this. You know, have a think about this, because there's the potency of the talisman. Like, that's someone who's doing some kind of, I'm not going to speculate, because there'd be so many different scenarios going on out there, because this is a general reading, but somebody's doing a lot of work to call this connection in. I don't feel it's coming from a bad place. I feel like it's just important to think things through. And the fact that Bridget and Elise has come up, I feel like it's just remembering there's always a choice. There's always a choice. You know, you can release this if you want, or you can go for it if it's something that you also want. But it's important to really own your own feelings in this. And if you're the one who's drawn the other person in, it's very important to just think of the why. Why are you doing that? Why do you feel the need to do that? And just really think it through logically, as well as, you know, thinking and feeling, as well as feeling and following the gut. You know, the fact that this shadow side has come up here, you know, it can be good or bad. It's good to see the whole of somebody. It's good to see their good sides, their bad sides, all of them. But that's the thing. You need to be able to see it. You know, if someone's drawing somebody in, it's really important that the other person has, you know, there's some kind of consent there, or at least some kind of knowledge and thinking things through. Try not, you know, I always try when I'm doing readings not to put my own judgments in, but that's just what I'm seeing. Okay. So I feel like in this connection, one person has really called in and drawn in the other. The other person is possibly thrown off their feet a bit. We have the Devil card here, you know, for a sort of addiction and just this real unexplainable pull into this situation. We have the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Wands. So, you know, it's not easy. It's not been easy for either. You know, something has made this person feel that they really need to do something to get this person to come to them. And I feel like possibly this needs healing. You know, to know that if there's a genuine connection there, you shouldn't need to use any kind of manipulation at all. You know, you should be free, and if you need to talk things out, you know, it's important to just think about it. Think about your reasons for your actions. I'm just gonna get some clarifying on this one. Yeah. So I feel like regardless of who's doing what, the key here is release and trust now. Whatever's gone down in the past, whoever's pulled whoever in, whatever manipulation has gone on, whatever the reasons for doing this, we all test each other. We all kind of go a roundabout way of finding out how other people feel about us, and we all have healing that needs to be done. And I think it's really important to basically drop any kind of control or drawing in, and remember that it's all about love and stability, and there's no winners. There are no winners if there's people are playing games. It's never a good idea to do game playing in a relationship normally. I mean, again, I'm not judging. This is just what I'm seeing in the cards. It's like, yes, you can draw someone in and get them to, fall. There's all kinds of ways of doing that. In the kind of spiritual world to the average everyday world, we all can use forms of manipulation. But it's kind of going, freedom. We need freedom here, and we need to think things through, and we need to just be wise, be really wise, and whatever's happened, release it, go, right, okay, if free anyone to let them go, and if they're meant to come back, they'll come back. It's really important to do that, like really free people need to be in connection with consent, full consent, otherwise it can't be healthy. And the reason why I'm saying that is the full, the cards that are coming out at the end here, the full, this is someone who just needs a new start and needs to just trust that whatever is going down, it needs to be released. And if this is meant to be, it will be. You have to just fall and trust and try to find a healthy place to connect with people that doesn't involve manipulation. I'm trying to tell this story balanced, but I would say for many of you, it's the other person that's manipulating you, and you feel this draw to them and you don't know why. You just don't know why. And there's this potential that they are manipulating you into this connection. And for some of you, I'd say it's split. It would be, it's maybe, this is, readings are always the extreme version of whatever it is, but keeping somebody in your life using unhealthy ways, or even ways that you think are healthy, it's sort of understandable if you kind of fall out with someone and you want to bring them back to you so you can work things out. Or I can't think of the scenarios right now, but what is important to remember is you can't live like that. You can't keep someone in your life through manipulation. If it's a couple and you're kind of using the children, or your partner's using the children to kind of keep their control over you, or maybe there was a business together and they're using that, or using something, mutual friends, using something to keep the person in their life, or sort of playing on the heartstrings, or whatever it would be, or using some of you, I'd say, are actually full on using magic. It's kind of going, whatever has happened, We're going to break that. We're going to think this through, and we're going to purify this. We're going to bring it stable, because there's no winners. And, you know, might need to have it out with them. You know, might need to have it out and just be completely honest and say, you know, I really want you in my life, but I want you in my life in a healthy way with just pure choice. It has to be consensual. I'm very sorry. Gosh, a few fell out, so I can't stop thinking about you. Secure attachment. Yeah. So whoever is being drawn in, well, actually both. I feel like the stop can't thinking about you is both, because when you're using manipulation, both are affected. The person who's being manipulated and the person who's doing the manipulation, you know, it's that kind of energy. It's mesmerizing, but it's an unhealthy, I can't stop thinking about you, I feel. But it's important to, you know, be sorry. And that doesn't mean feel, you know, you have to persecute yourself. It just, not you. When I say you, I mean either of you. The one who's watching this, or the one who you're thinking about. You know, there is this desire to get out of this situation and have a secure attachment, a secure, healthy attachment, a secure, healthy relationship. That's not based on manipulation. Yeah. So it's about bringing in awareness. Bringing in awareness to this connection is all I can really see. Bringing awareness. If it's you, if you need to take a look at the rhymes and reasons as to how you're getting this person to be in your life, or you feel this strange pull, it's kind of working on breaking that. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just how I feel when I look at these cards. You needn't worry. There's no one in your life who hasn't always loved you. They're all just learning how to show it. Okay. So it's kind of trusting that whoever it is that's doing the manipulating doesn't need to do the manipulating. They're actually going to push this person away if they don't stop. You know, there's a genuine love underneath all of this. If people could just stop playing games. Well, I don't know if it's one person or both people, but somebody's playing games here. And it's okay. I mean, there's enough maturity and willingness here that this can be dropped. This can all be dropped, and you can find this new beginning. You know, it might need to be very subtle, but I feel like it's just important to really look into this situation and be aware of manipulation and why, the whys and hows of what's going on. Let's get away my read card. Water birth. We the mermaids offer new life within the old. We bring hope and change. There is in every moment the chance for rebirth. We will help you transition into a new stage of your life. No way. So yeah, this connection needs a complete rebirth and a kind of let go of the games and bring this into a healthy place. Yeah, so it's just about bearing that in mind. I love it when that happens. The same cards come up in all the different decks, pretty much. Divine timing. The divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing. Yep. So it's about trust. I feel like the manipulation isn't coming from a bad place. It's coming from more of like a desperate kind of place. It's like you want someone's attention, so you figure out ways you can get that attention that aren't necessarily healthy. It's a very, it's a very childlike thing. But it happens, and it's okay. It's just a matter of being aware. It's all about awareness, just about awareness, and kind of just non-judgment, and just knowing that you can bring this back into a healthy space and start again. And it can be beautiful. It has the potential to be beautiful. Okay. So pile 4 was the ivy. And ivy is for protection, is its main kind of medicine. And it can grow up in and around, but it can also choke. So I also think the other side of the ivy is, yes, put up your boundaries, and yes, work things out and have things in order, but don't let that then become your enemy. There's a big difference between a boundary and a barrier. Queen. Now this is an interesting connection here. Okay. So I really feel like this particular connection has maybe been quite imaginative before, there's so many different things going on in my head at the minute, so I'm guessing there's just so many different scenarios out there. But the crux of it is it's about bringing it down into the human experience. This can happen a lot in relationships that exist outside of the normal day-to-day life. People that you kind of write back and forward to, especially in kind of spiritual type connections. People from places of learning, or people, I don't know, that the kind of humanistic scenario I can think of is, when you meet someone on holiday and you have this amazing connection with them, and then you maybe keep in touch with them afterwards, but it's still very kind of dreamy and sort of stays in that holiday place because it's borderline fantasy, really. And then when you bringing it into human, you wonder if it'll still be the same. And this spread indicates to me that yes, it would be the same. Excuse my dog snoring. Because literally the only card in here that would cause me any question is this 9 of Swords, which is, you know, a lot of kind of overthinking about things. Aside from that, it's beautiful. There's you know, the darkness needs to be talked about. You know, there's something that needs to be talked about because there's a blessing for the right words. And, you know, this is the lunar queen. That's to me, that's about timing. And it says here, the light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. So it's kind of going, you finding the right words and the right time to bring this into your human experience, because this connection is maybe ready to move from this kind of almost dreamy state into day-to-day life. But there's just that fear because you know, there is a lot of passion. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of, you know, brightness, sunshine, celebration. You know, there's just so much going on here that's just beautiful. But there is that kind of concern about over-investing. I feel like, you know, this could even be someone who's met online. You know, I'm going through so like I said, there's so many different scenarios, but it's like someone who's met online and they've never met in person. And, you know, they've maybe started up a relationship almost. And maybe they've even think they've fallen in love with this person or something. It's that kind of scenario. And then they've invested so much time and energy into the connection, but it's not actually real as such, as in this person isn't actually in their day-to-day life, never actually met in person. They don't even know for sure if you know, it's real, because they don't know, like, how does this person drink coffee? Does this person, you know, snore? You know, it's so in this kind of strange place where there's all this love and connection, but not this known of day-to-day life. And it's kind of a desire to bring this connection into the day-to-day life, and not knowing how to say, look, I think we need to meet up, and I think we should talk this out, and I think we should get to know each other on a more human level, show the shadow, you know, show our shadow to each other. And the timing and the words are so important, especially with everything going on in the world right now. But it's all about kind of investing. There's so much being invested into this connection. It's kind of like, well, I don't know if I can keep going, just keeping on investing into this kind of almost like a ghost, really. And then the Emperor just put on the end here, kind of showing me that there just needs to be sort of a more order brought into this, a need for more order, but at the same time not really wanting to give up on the fantasy of it. It's a very, I mean, another scenario that would describe this energy is, you know, when you first go out with, now this doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, but this is just scenarios coming into my head. But you know, when you're first going out with somebody and you're absolutely head over heels for them, and then it comes to the time when you're talking about moving in together and it seems so exciting, but then when you actually get into the day-to-day life of having to share bills and all this kind of stuff, it just completely changes the relationship. It's kind of like that situation. It's like this pinnacle point where there's all this love, and it's so wonderful, and knowing that bringing in the day-to-day grind will change that, and wondering if the relationship will survive that, but knowing that you don't really want to continue on investing in something when you just don't know, you kind of need an answer. It's a very kind of strange place to sit, really. Loud and clear. Yeah. I feel like from looking at these cards that it'll just get to that point of you know, this will not do any longer. Either there'll be a longing that you need the person, it needs to become into the day-to-day life, or it'll need to stop, or something will need to change, but it can't continue as is, because it's taken too much energy, and it's not really got the sort of groundedness that you need, because we do exist in this actual earth, and we do need people to be in our day-to-day reality. The world to me. Some messages from your person. You mean the world to me, and I need time. So, okay, so that makes sense. So it's like, I'm guessing the person who's watching this, so you, pal 3, pal 4, you, pal 4, are probably wanting to move this connection into a different space. You're really enjoying it, and you're really loved up. It doesn't have to be a relationship, like a romantic relationship. It could be anything, but you want to take the connection into the next level. You want to see the person. You know, you want to move from sort of communicating via text or whatever it is, to actually having this person in your day, to like meeting your other friends, meeting your family. This is just like a very general idea of the energy, but you want to bring this person into your actual day-to-day world, and there's a perception of resistance on the other side, like, but I feel like it is just a perception. I feel like the other person feels the same, but they just aren't dealing with it as the same way as you are. You know, they need time and space, and they're just not ready to change things just yet. That doesn't mean you have to put up as you have choices to make. You have to choose whether this is worth the investment. You know, if this person isn't going to move into, I mean, if this person just might never be ready, they might always just want to stay in this kind of fantasy world. You know, I mean, I don't want to get into every single scenario, but another one is if someone's going with someone who's already in another relationship, and they've said they're ready to move on and be with you, but maybe a year's passed and that still hasn't happened, or something like that, you know, where the person, you're kind of feel like you're always waiting for this person to commit to you. And in kind of like a more friendship situation, it'd be that person that you have this connection with, but they never really fully engage in real life with you. My heart hurts. Yeah, so there is that longingness, and I do feel it is mutual. I do feel like if you turned around and said to this person, right, you know what it is, I'm out, they'd be gutted. But, you know, at the same time, you have to look after yourself. You know, you have to make the decision as to whether this is something that serves you or not. Is it worth it? But like, there doesn't seem, I mean, no matter how many cards I pull here, there doesn't seem to be an answer as to whether they're ready to bring it into the human. Yeah, no. I do genuinely feel there's so much love here, but it's like this person is not ready to move. Someone in the relationship is not quite ready to move. These are two people that are at different stages, and the choice is trust and wait, and, you know, allow that person to do whatever healing they need to do to match you, or just say, look, I can't do this anymore. You know, be honest with them. You know, a blessing for the right words, and, you know, knowing that there's a lot of overthinking and sleepless nights going on here, and it's I feel like it's really important to just be open to knowing when the right time to have the discussion is, and be able to, in a very healthy adult way, share your needs with this person, and let them know what it is that you want or need, and how it's affecting you, that it's not happening at the moment, and hearing their side so that you know what's going on with them more. But I just feel like it's a very, very stuck energy. Actually, with the ivy, one person in the connection is barrier. There's boundary and barrier, and I feel like one person in the connection is definitely more barrier, and they just need time to change, to bring those walls down, and open up. Thank you. That is all I have for you, pile 4. And now, last but not least, pile 5. This is the holly. This is the holly, and the medicine of holly is protection, beauty, but it is also the remedy for jealousy and anger. And it can help with, you know, the general prickliness, depending on which side of the holly you're on. It can help bring, you know, keep people who are causing trouble out, and it can also help feelings of that, you know, and you really feel, I don't know how to put it into words just in this moment, but you know, when you just feel irritated by somebody, the holly can just help calm that down, and, you know, move that into a healthier place for, you know, healing. Let's see what's happening for you, pile 5. Initiation. The ocean laughs always with the innocent. The blessing to bring clarity. You have been given life. Choose where and when to shine. Kuan Yin and reset. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. So I feel like, excuse me, this is a very, I don't know the word to use, like interesting connection. I feel this is somebody that you've known for some time and shared a lot with. I feel like it's a relationship that's entering into a new phase, a complete new phase, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of choice. This is a connection that you really have to make a choice to commit to. I don't feel it's romantic, but obviously anything can be anything. I feel like this is like a soul connection, but more like in a sort of platonic kind of way. So initiation needs to have consent. So I feel like you have to be open to allow whatever triggers are coming up to come up. And I feel like there's a choice here. can shut this person out. They could shut you out. Obviously, you can't control other people. But there's a decision of whether to continue or just kind of shut out. And I feel like that's the point where it's at the minute. It's like, I don't know if I can do this or not, because it's really triggering me. There's like an underlying desire to reset and start again, but is that reset with the person or without? There's a kind of need to work on things and a need for like a rebirth. But again, I feel like it's a choice here of, is that with or without this person? You know, it's all choice here. There's Two of Wands. I feel like in this particular card, it's like which way do I go here? Which direction? What do I choose? I'm looking at my ball here and I'm just, you know, I'm not really sure. I want wisdom here. You know, the World card, it's the end of a cycle, beginning of a new cycle. Blessing to bring clarity. The knowing, the life and death cycle. And just all this kind of depth and emotion, initiation, all this kind of stuff. It's all very deep. This is all very, very deep. Yeah, feeling trapped. It's so funny the way the same cards come up. Yeah. So there's a lot of the illusion of entrapment, the need for steadiness and dependability. I'd say in this particular context, this is loyalty. It's like knowing that you might need to move on from this connection, but you're so extremely loyal that you don't really want to. And if you really think about it deeply, that is the only thing keeping you in this connection, loyalty. This is extreme loyalty, which can sometimes, it can be really difficult, but it's just really thinking, you know, are you being loyal to yourself? And are you really being loyal to the other person if it's a connection that needs to be released and reset? Flower of life. I just feel like in this particular reading, there's just a lot to really consider the reasons why. It's very, you know, I'm not sure why it needs to be a kind of all or nothing situation. I don't know if the choice is stay or go. I don't know if there's any other options going on, as it's a general reading. There could be so many different scenarios here, but it's like they've come to a point. This is a connection that's come to a point where either need to go really into it and really do some work together to heal this, or walk away, because sometimes the good is hidden. Find the good in what they said or asked. It's always there, even if they didn't mean for it to be. Yeah. Clues for what you want are hidden all around you. So yeah, I feel like there's just come to a point. I don't know if something's going on or what's happened here, but the choice is is go into the depths of it and try to heal it. Really looking at the self, really seeking support from outside sources, really working on the triggers and what's come up, and then making a choice as to whether it's a good idea to try and heal this relationship or try to bring healing into this relationship or not. And also like trying to figure out what the other person wants. I am feeling this work this way. So the other person wants connection. I have very big trust issues. Signs are everywhere. And healing. Yeah. So, some mermaid card. Aqua visions. See the world through new eyes this day. Oceanic eyes. And you will see the truth and experience the beauty of emotions. Feel your way through the world today. Enrich your life with heart-centered connection. Okay. So it's a general call to bring everything back to the heart, you know, and lead with kindness to yourself and this connection. It's not okay for people to hurt each other, but sometimes that can happen in intense relationships, and it's deciding, am I going to work through this? Am I going to go into the depth of this? Am I going to shine in this connection? Am I going to bring a rebirth and healing into this connection? You know, am I going to trust and bring down my barriers? Am I going to have the patience for this person going through whatever it is they're going through there? And the other person in this connection is going through a lot of their own stuff. And, you know, they will have their choices to make too. And it's kind of deciding where your line is here. And, you know, how far your love goes for this person. And you can love someone and still need a break from them and still need to step right back out. But it's just... trying to keep the situation healthy can be challenging in this energy. Trust. When love is invited to take over, right actions arise at the right time. Allow me, dear divine, to wait patiently until the timing is right. Let me rest in the unknown until a clear path is shown. So that's really interesting. So that's opening up a third option of waiting, just waiting and seeing. Maybe, you know, until you're sure, because it's like there's this decision to be made, and it's like, do I stay or do I go? And those three of wands come up too, yeah. So to me, there's a third option of just being open and honest and saying, this is really challenging me at the moment, and I really don't know what to do, and I need some time. And the other person might need time too. And, you know, not making anything final, but just taking a step back out of this and focusing on self-care, sending love to the situation, and trusting that you will know what to do. Just gonna pick one mermaid card just to see. Excuse me. Atlantis, rapid development, excellence and success. you know, what I'm feeling from that particular card is, you know what to do. Like, you know deep down what it is you need to do, but it might not be easy. And sometimes healing, you just need to take some time to just reset. Until your inner knowing does bubble up. 6 of Wands, victory, yeah. So it's all very positive in the end. I feel like, you know, wherever the energy of this connection is in this snapshot moment. Remember, this is just the snapshot for now, for when you're watching this. I mean, energy changes all the time, but in this moment, it's just a tough energy. There's a lot of stuff coming up, you know, ancestral stuff, family stuff, old patterns. There's a lot of confusion and just difficulty, but for probably very hard to put your finger on exactly what it is. But taking the time to figure out how to get into a place of kindness and have a calm discussion, and really work things out. You know, there is victory here. There is victory, and you know, overcoming all of this into a much better place, and a rebirth and a new beginning. But the choice is the new beginning in the connection or outside of the connection. And like we said there's a third option of kind of a trust and an allowing the right answer to come up, rather than feeling forced into making a decision now. It's kind of going, well, I'm just going to take some time and think this all through, and, you know, pray, meditate, to take some stillness, depending on what your beliefs are, and kind of just allow the right answers to come. The right answers will come, because, you know, they're right there in the center of all this, and there's this true knowing, but it's working through it all to get to that point. So I hope that resonated. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.